Hello there. Today I'm going to have a look at a sword that I ordered from Bloss last year. That's the Meyer Rapier that they produce. They make a variety of swords. They have sort of Dusaks, early rapiers, Meyers, and all kinds of related things. But I wanted to get hold of the Meyer Rapier from them, and so I could compare it to other manufacturers. So you can see I've already got, let's have a look, I've got two Cavitan, I'll move to the side. I've got two of the Cavitan Meyer Rapiers already. I've got another two on order from other companies. And this is the Bloss Meyer Rapier that came, I believe, about a week ago. Now, before I show you it, it was a bit of a nightmare actually trying to get it. Bloss made it pretty quickly, but they had a huge problem getting orders out of Poland. So a lot of the orders were just going to customs on the Polish border, and then they just never went anywhere, they just vanished. So I know he's had a real hard time trying to get stuff out over the last few months. But anyway, he put in the extra effort and got this one out to me as quickly as he possibly could. And he asked if I wanted a few embellishments, if I wanted to go sort of retro style. So I wasn't entirely sure what that was, but it's arrived anyway. So let's have a look. So this is the chap. So you can see he's got sort of the anodized finish on the crossguard, which is quite nice, and he's done a custom wrap on the grip. It's not normally my kind of thing. I tend to go for a more conventional grip. But when you get the option for something a little funky, why not? It's kind of a mix between sort of 80s kind of retro futuristic and sort of cyberpunk. It's quite cool anyway. Okay, well, I've brought a tape measure and I've got weighing scales so I can get some details for you as well. But in terms of the basic finish, I'll bring it up nice and close. See, it looks pretty good. The crossguard is nice and solid. The grip is solid as well. There's no rattle there. Yeah, it looks like it's peened, so hopefully it will stand up for a long time. The knuckle bow is pulled out a fair amount. I haven't tried it with gloves yet. I'm not going to, because we're about to go back into training. So when that happens, I will test this properly against other swords. Until then, this is just a very quick overview. In terms of the blade, it's quite slender actually. If you look at the illustrations in Meyer, most of them tend to be a little wider than this. But that doesn't matter, and it's nice to have variety. And I know he offers he's got different options in terms of stiffness of blade and weight of pommel. So I just got whichever one he happened to have at the time. You've got a nice fat spatulated tip. I'd still recommend putting some additional protection on the end, but it's nice to have that as default. And you'll notice as well the blade, I don't know whether you can see that. Let's go along here. It's basically got a spine. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can see there's a spine on both sides. So a little like some small swords. And a consequence of that is you end up with something that is quite stiff. I'd say it's about twice as stiff as the Cavitan Meyer Rapier. It bends, in about the last third, which is good. The strong kind of lives up to its name. It just doesn't move. So something to consider there. If you want something that's really good for working on technique, controlling the center line, that kind of thing, well then this strong is going to do its parts because it's really hard to flex. But you do have quite a nice flex towards the end. In terms of the grip, he has various options. The one he sent me is a one-off. I'll just bring it a bit closer so you can see. It looks like it's 3 different colours wrapped together, sort of wound around the grip. So from a distance it gives this kind of light purple look, and as you get closer, extreme close up, you get the kind of the multicoloured effect. I don't know how close I can go with this camera. Let's have a look. Yeah. I'll just get some quick measurements for you. I haven't actually had time to measure it myself, so I'll just find out now. Just give me a moment. So we'll do this in real time. Okay, so we're looking at... Right, so it's a 90 centimetre blade, which in old money is sort of just under 36 inches. And weight-wise, I do apologise for vanishing off the screen. I just wanted to get this done as quickly as possible. It's weighing in at about 960 grams, so a whisker under 1 kilo, and that's on post office scale, so it's pretty accurate. So just bring it in again just so you can have another quick look. So you've got quite a long cross guard. I'll just move out of the way. Relatively thin, sort of welded on knucklebow. Doesn't attach at the pommel, but it is far enough away that your glove isn't going to slip under it. Without a glove, you can just about get a finger to go through, and you know what it's like with sparring. Over time, that will probably bend down. Hopefully bend rather than snap. And that's pretty much it. And I haven't sparred with it yet. I've been in the garden, I've swung it around, I've done some test cutting. Well, test cutting as in, cutting in the garden, sort of going through my sort of the Meyers square. And it cuts quite nicely. It feels better optimized for thrusting than cutting, to be honest. Better optimized for thrusting rather than cutting, as opposed to the Kavitans here. This one and this one. These are especially nice for a mixture of both. In fact, I'd say they're slightly better for cutting, whereas this is optimized a little more for the thrust. And as I said, you've got that nice, stiff, strong, controlling the center line for sort of trying to dominate sort of the possession in the fight, and then you've got a bit of flex in the tip. It is, I would say, it's towards the stiffer end of training swords. So I'd tip it, and I'd fight sensibly with it, as you should with all your swords. You fight to the level of your opponent and to the level of the equipment that you've got. One moment. Just got to drink that before it goes cold. Anything else you might want to know? If you don't know anything about a Meyer Rapier, have a look online. Just do a search. There's loads of information, but you're basically looking at a sort of an early side sword. So you've got, if you take away the knucklebow and the D-ring, you just end up with a conventional cruciform sword. But the blade is a little narrower normally, maybe a little longer, bit of extra hand protection here and here. And then you've got kind of the introduction of that Bolognese system. So you've got slightly modified footwork, more extended guards, lots of thrusting. It's a kind of an early sort of movement into side swords and then eventually into other thrust-based weapons. It's a good system though, it's good fun. And anyway, as a first look at this sword, you can see it looks decent, it feels well put together. And I will give it a test over the next few weeks with sparring, and then I'll do a follow-up video, and I'll look at the very least, I'll look at this and the Meyer from Kavitan, and if I happen to have any other brands at the time, I'll compare those as well, and we'll see how they perform. Maybe I'll just bring it in one last time, one more extreme close-up. Hopefully, as you get towards the tip, it starts focusing on me, which I appreciate. You didn't kind of watch the video to come and watch me. Come along, and I'll show you the other side. And there you have it. So that's the Meyer sword the Meyer Rapier from Bloss. I'll have a quick look. I'll just check on what the current price is for you. Okay, let's look at euros. I believe it's the zloty, isn't it, for Poland? Okay. Oh, and it's not going to update. Oh, there we go. So that's their webpage if you want to check it out. I assume the image isn't reversed, but if it is, you can see it's listed for 295 euros plus shipping, which is about comparable to other manufacturers. I think Kavitan is about 280 euros or so. So it depends whether you get stung with duty and VAT, depending on where you live. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Any comments or questions about this particular sword or Meyer Rapiers in general, pop them in the comment section, or come along to our Facebook page. You're welcome to post there as well. And as I said, I'll give it a thorough testing. This is just a quick overview. I'll give it a proper test against all kinds of swords as soon as we get back to fencing after this damn COVID, which should be hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Thanks for watching. Bye.